Hey guys, it is November. The snow is falling here in Edmonton, and being that it's November, that means that Inktober has just finished. For those of you who don't know, Inktober is a drawing challenge that comes up every October, created by Jake Parker, awesome illustrator and comic artist. Basically, the challenge is to do a finished ink drawing every day in that medium, and it's a great challenge. For many reasons. One, which I'll get into a little bit later in this video, but it's great to just help you develop your confidence using ink, which can be kind of daunting at first. So I just want to share a little bit of my Inktober drawings that I did for 2017. I went with a theme of Richards this season. It's kind of weird, a theme, you might think. I think I did it because I didn't really know what I wanted to do for Inktober this year, and I just watched Hunt for the Wilder People for the second time on Netflix, and I wanted to draw Ricky Baker, of course. So I thought, oh well, I'll just do every drawing as something related to Ricky or Richard or Dick or something like that. And one of the main reasons also that I did that, besides wanting to draw Ricky Baker, was because limitations breeds creativity. It's kind of like an opposite, doesn't make sense thought, like free creativity, freedom to do anything. You think that would be great, but it's too much freedom. When you get limitations, like it has to just be Richards, it forces you to be creative, actually. And I thought that would help me stay on task and focused for this Inktober. So I'll just quickly show you some of the drawings I did. Day one, Ricky Baker. Ricky Baker. Oh, Ricky Baker. Love that movie. You have to check it out if you haven't. Day two was Richard Alpert from Lost. It's got a couple Easter eggs there. There's the polar bear. There's some peanut butter. Yep, Jiffy peanut butter there. There's the hatch. 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42 is hidden all out there. Also great. Day three was Dick Van Dyke. I know him mostly from Diagnosis Murder, a show in the 90s about him solving murders, and he was a doctor. I don't remember too many details about it, but that's how I know him from. Day four was Reed Richards. Kind of bent the theme a little bit there. His little neck in a 4. Day five was Ricky Tikki Tavi. I remember one of my favorite cartoons as a kid. We saw him in school, the mongoose who fought that snake, that cobra. Day six was Richard Karn, Al from Home Improvement. I don't think so, Tim. About that one. Day seven was Rick Grimes from Walking Dead. Day 8 was Ricky Hatton, boxer. Day 9 was Richard Thompson, and I'd actually like to do a video about this a little bit later. He's my absolute favorite comic strip cartoonist. Obviously, he was an illustrator and did lots of things, but I knew him from his comic strip Cul-de-sac, which is just beautiful, the most beautiful comic strip I've ever written. It's hilarious, heartwarming, genuine, and actually Bill Watterson of Calvin and Hobbes fame wrote the foreword for the first collection of comics, just saying how much he loved it. And unfortunately, Richard Thompson passed away due to complications of Parkinson's disease last year, I believe it was. And it's awful, but I wholeheartedly recommend you checking out Cul-de-sac by Richard Thompson. Those are a couple characters of his from the comic strip. Day 10 was Rich Franklin, UFC. Day 11 was a porg that I named Richard, because I just seen the trailer. Day 12 was Richard Ayoade. I think that's how you say his name. Moss from IT Crowd and other shows. Richard Attenborough was day 13. I knew him from Jurassic Park. Day 14 was Richard Hatch from Survivor. That was the first Survivor. That was like a big thing when I was a kid, too. Day 15 was Richie Rich, sitting on his pile of money, looking sad. Day 16 was Ric Flair. Woo! So that was fun. Also grew up with WWE. Day 17, King Richard from the Robin Hood Disney movie. Day 18 was Dickie Greenleaf from The Talented Mr. Ripley. So that's him, and then that would be Mr. Ripley. And I guess kind of a spoiler alert. Day 19 was Oliver Lavaroto. Greatest kid ever in the whole wide world. he actually had to go in and have a heart surgery that, like, don't need to go into the details about it, but it was not something that was expected, and it long story short, it ended up being awesome. It worked as successfully as it could, and he's like running around just being his crazy self now. So this was on that day he went in for his surgery. So I did a little one of him and Super Clover, who he loves. The monster at the end of this book, greatest book of my childhood, probably one of them, and he loves that one. So it was fun to read that with him. Day 20, Dick Solomon from Third Rock from the Sun, another TV series of my youth. Day 21 was Richard Parker, Peter Parker's dad, super spy. Day 22, Rick Nash, Rangers. Day 23, Ricky Ray, in his Eskimo glory days. And that's it. That's all I had. Well, Tayson, you say, that's not 31 days. Yeah, I failed. I failed my Inktober challenge that I set out for myself. You don't have to do the 31 days, but that was the goal that I'd set out to do. And I failed it. I didn't get it done. So why is that? Couple reasons. One, I just kind of got out of the flow of it. I got busy. Things happen, and I didn't finish it. And then I was just like, I'm done for it. So it's a fail in one way. I failed at what I wanted to do, but one of the other reasons why I love Inktober is it's a great teacher on making deadlines. Because it's something you're set down there and you've committed to do. And making art is easy when you're feeling it. When you want to make art, it's the easiest thing in the world. It's fun, it's the best. But chances are, over those 31 days, there's going to be a day or two where you're not in the zone, you're not feeling it, you just can't get yourself motivated to do it. And on those days, you have to force yourself to sit down and do a drawing, and not just scribble it out and go, but like actually put some heart and work and some grit into it and make something that you're proud of. And it's a great teacher on making deadlines. And there were a couple days, even in these 20 whatever days I did, 23 days, where it was kind of a grind to do, and it felt good after sitting down and getting it out to get it done. And that old adage they say, like, there's three things to get work as an artist, and as a comic artist, which is what I like to do and love, is making comics and telling stories. One, you have to be very good at your craft, like excellent, really, really good at your art. Two, you have to be good to work with, be fun to work with, easy to work with, likable. And three, you have to be quick. You have to make your deadlines and produce. And the adage goes that you have to be two of those three things at least. If you're two of those, then you'll get work and you'll find work. And it's making deadlines, being quick, especially for a starting artist, when you're trying to start making your first comics and get into it, that's a huge one to have, because you're still developing your craft. You're always developing your craft, but you're going to be, you're not going to be at the top right when you're starting, right? So being likable, being easy to work with, and making your deadlines, that is super important. And Inktober teaches you what it is to have deadlines and what it is to power through them when you're not really feeling it. So I love Inktober for that. I failed at making the 31, but I learned some good lessons on making deadlines and what that feels like to actually, feel that practically. Quickly before I go, I just want to share some of the tools I used for this Inktober. This pen right over here, a Pentel brush pen, pocket brush. Nice little, hard to see right there. Nice little brush tip. It's a refillable one, so that's nice. And you can also just fill it with whatever ink you want. So I'm actually I read that tip on Twitter the other day. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So I'm gonna start using some different ink with this one. But this is just like a nice workhorse. You can get very thin lines, very, very thick lines. And it's fairly easy to use. So I like that one. This pen right here, I believe it's a Pentel pigment brush. I had it about a year ago, and I hated it. I just could not get used to it. And then for whatever reason, like a few months ago, I started using it again, and now I love it. I use this all the time. I use this for the majority of my Inktober drawings. It's got a super, super fine tip. It's kind of hard to see on there. But it's a nice pen. I like that pen a lot. Also refillable. Microns, I use these a lot. This was a .005, really fine tip for like just fine little details. Can't go wrong with those. These are zebra pens, zebra brush pens. These are disposable, and they're like a marker tip almost, but you can get that thick line variation, thick and thin line variation, as with like a more traditional pen brush. So I love these, and you can get them actually from a place called jetpens.com is a great website. They come this nice little packaging. You can get they're like a couple bucks. It's a great deal. And then and this pen, I love this pen. It's a pocket brush, a Pilot pocket brush, I believe, disposable, but it's got just this really, it's a thick kind of brush. It's a solid brush. It's not very, there's no bristles to it. It doesn't spread out or anything, but it's super messy and sketchy, and I love just messing around with it in my sketchbook. It's a great pen. I think it's like $4. You can get it on JetPens. It's awesome. I love that one. And then lastly, this little aqua brush. I filled it with some ink, a little bit of ink, a lot of water, and made a little ink wash. And I've just started recently experimenting with ink washes and things like that, and having a lot of fun with those too. But so anyway, that's my Inktober experience for 2017. If you guys did Inktober, I'd love to hear about it, how it went. So just comment below, leave some comments, get a discussion going. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next video.